All right, welcome back to the Teacher's Tech Bar. In this video, I'm going to talk about some Zoom settings you're going to want to change so that we can keep our class meetings safe and secure. There's been a trend out there called Zoom bombing where people join your meetings and start sharing inappropriate things. So we want to do everything we can to prevent that from happening. And I'm not the first person to share information about this. There's tons of resources online, but Fariel shared a good one with me from Tom's Guide, and he outlines key things that you need to change in your settings to help prevent this. So I'm going to walk through those, and those are going to be the waiting room setting, screen sharing setting, and the file sharing setting. And then while we're in there, I'm also going to talk about turning off the virtual background. So to change your settings on Zoom, you're going to need to go to zoom.us/profile/setting, and you can see that at the top of my screen here. If you're already on zoom.us, you can just click on the top right into your account and then go to the settings. I would recommend just in general that you take a time to go through and look at all the various things that you can turn on and turn off. But for here, like I said, we want to focus on a couple. And the easiest way to find those, because it's a really long list, is just hit Command F if you're using a Mac and start typing in what you're looking for. So for example, if we're looking for the screen sharing setting, I'm going to start typing in share, and it takes me down here to screen sharing. And what I would do is put it on host only. This is something that you can change during a call or during a meeting. So if you want your students to actually share their screen, you can switch it right in the moment. But in general, I would turn it off so that if someone were to try to join your meeting, they couldn't start sharing inappropriate things or sharing their screen. So you're going to want to make it host only. The other thing you want to do is change waiting room feature. You're going to want to turn that on. So essentially what that means is if someone tries to join your class, you have to give them approval to join. And if all of your students are joining, then you just hit automatically allow all of them to come in. But it's another way to prevent someone that you're not familiar with from joining your class because you give them the okay to sort of walk into your class. So the other one is file transfer. So hosts and participants can send files through the in-meeting chat. You're going to also want to have that turned off. The other thing we would hope that you turn off is the virtual background. So we find that it's distracting, and as you start to think about some of the research we've been looking at in terms of working memory, we just think that it might be distracting, and students can use this in ways that sort of show that they're there, but when they're actually not there. So you're going to want to change the virtual background. Okay, allow users, and if it's gray, that means it's off. Okay, and let's go ahead and jump over to an actual Zoom call and see how we can change these settings. So the first thing you're going to notice when you have that waiting room feature turned on is that as people start to join, it gives you an option to accept or not accept their admission into the meeting. And then once the meeting starts, another feature you can turn on is a lock feature. So therefore, if I lock this meeting, no one else can join. So once all my students are on board, I'll lock the meeting and then no one else can come in. But let's say someone has like internet trouble and they want to come back in, just turn that off, let them come back in and then turn it back on. During the class, if you want kids to start sharing their screens, then just go over to the up arrow next to that green square and go to advanced sharing options and then just switch that to all participants. So therefore, they start sharing their screens as they need to. And then if you go back to an activity in class where that doesn't need to occur, you can just switch it back to only host. It's kind of a shame that we need to go through all these things, but we do want to keep our classes safe and secure. Just keep these things in mind, and I strongly recommend that you change these settings, and also recommend that you can navigate these features during a class. All right, so that'll help keep your classes safe and secure and focused on the great academic work that you have planned for your students.